My girlfriend said, "I need space to focus on myself. Please don't contact me." I replied, "Take all the time you need." Then her roommate sent me screenshots of her real reason. She was test driving 3 other guys to see who had the best salary. I forwarded the screenshots to all 3. Her space became very crowded with angry exes. I, 29 male, got the text last Thursday around 6 p.m. Was just getting home from work, hadn't even taken my shoes off yet. Standing in my kitchen, keys still in hand, staring at my phone like it had grown teeth. My girlfriend and I had been together for 2 years. Not living together, but serious enough that we'd talked about it multiple times. She'd even started leaving stuff at my place: toothbrush, spare clothes, her favorite mug. The whole 9. We discussed timelines. I thought we were building towards something real. She'd been a bit distant the past few weeks. Fewer texts, canceled plans, that kind of thing. 3 date nights in a row got pushed back for various reasons. Work stress, headaches. Her sister needed help with something vague. I chalked it up to her new job and the adjustment period that comes with it. Gave her the benefit of the doubt, because that's what you do when you trust someone. Stupid, I know. The text read, "Hey, I've been doing a lot of thinking lately. I need space to focus on myself right now. Please don't contact me for a while. I'll reach out when I'm ready to talk. I hope you understand." Classic breakup without actually breaking up move, right? No explanation, no conversation. Just a unilateral decree delivered via text message after 2 years of what I thought was mutual investment. But I'm not the type to beg or chase. Never have been. My dad taught me young, if someone wants to leave, you hold the door open. Chasing just delays the inevitable and destroys your dignity in the process. My reply, take all the time you need. That was it. No drama. No 20 questions. No pleading for clarity. Just acceptance. Figured if she wanted to end things, she could at least have the decency to say it directly. Until then, I'd respect her boundaries. Spent the weekend doing normal stuff. Deep cleaned my apartment since it was overdue anyway. Caught up on some shows I've been putting off. Met up with my buddy for beer Saturday night at our usual spot. Told him about the text between wings and a game on the TV behind the bar. He gave me that look. The sympathetic one guys give each other when they know something's wrong but don't want to make it weird. Something's off about that, he said. The timing, the wording, all of it. Yeah, probably. You gonna be all right? I'll manage. I appreciated the concern, but wasn't spiraling. Not yet anyway. Kept telling myself that if this was really the end, at least I'd know where I stood. Uncertainty is worse than bad news, usually. Then Monday happened. I got an Instagram DM around lunchtime from an account I didn't recognize at first. No profile picture, minimal followers, looked like a burner account. Turned out to be her roommate, a girl I'd met maybe 3 or 4 times at their apartment over the 2 years. Never really talked much beyond basic pleasantries. She seemed nice enough but kept to herself. Always in her room when I came over, earbuds in, minding her business. The message was simple. Hey, I know this is weird and we don't really know each other, but I think you deserve to know what's actually going on. I've been watching this for 2 months and I can't stay quiet anymore. Check these screenshots. What followed was a series of text conversations between my girlfriend and someone saved as mom in her phone. But the conversation made it clear this wasn't her mother. The tone was way too casual, too confessional. This was clearly a close friend she used that contact name for, probably to avoid suspicion if anyone ever glanced at her phone. The messages were, enlightening is one word for it. Soul-crushing is another. Highlights included, guy 1 is sweet, but he's still in grad school, lol. No real income for at least 2 more years. Hard to plan a future around someone still figuring out their career. Guy 2 has the tech job, but honestly he's boring. Like painfully boring. We went to dinner last week, and I had to carry the entire conversation. But that salary, though, 6 figures easy. Could get used to that lifestyle. Guy 3 is the hottest by far, but works retail management. Hard pass long term. Fun for now, but no way I'm building a life with someone who peaked at assistant manager. And then there's describing me. Stable job, decent apartment, not rich, but comfortable. He treats me well, I'll give him that. He's the safe choice, but I want to see if I can do better before I commit to anything permanent. I told him I need space so I can focus on myself on my own. He bought it completely, didn't even question it, just said okay and backed off, giving me time to figure out which one is the best investment. Investment. She called dating me an investment strategy. 2 years of my life reduced to a line item on some deranged spreadsheet of romantic options. I stared at my phone for maybe 10 minutes. Read the messages 3 times to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding something. I wasn't. It was exactly what it looked like. The anger came slow, like a cold wave rising from my gut. Not the explosive throw things kind. The calculating kind. The kind that sharpens your focus instead of clouding it. Her roommate sent a follow-up message. She's been doing this for about 2 months. Rotating between all of you, making sure the schedules don't overlap. I watch her lie to your face when you call while she's getting ready to see one of the others. I'm moving out next month because I can't stand the constant deception in my own apartment. Do what you want with this info. I just thought you deserved to know. I thanked her. Genuinely, sincerely thanked her. Then I asked one question. Do you know who the other 3 guys are? She did. Sent me their Instagram handles without hesitation. All of them clearly thought they were in exclusive relationships with my girlfriend based on their recent posts. Couple photos, date nights, public displays of affection. One guy had posted just 2 days ago about my amazing girlfriend surprising me with concert tickets for my birthday. Another had a story up from what looked like a weekend trip they'd taken together. All of us operating under the assumption we were the only one. All of us being played like instruments in some sick orchestra she was conducting. That's when I made my decision. I didn't confront my girlfriend. Didn't send an angry text demanding explanations. Didn't call her crying or yelling. Instead, I did something much simpler and, in retrospect, much more effective. I forwarded every single screenshot to all 3 guys. Same message to each one. Hey, don't know you, but thought you should see these. We've apparently all been dating the same person who's been comparing us by salary and investment potential. Good luck out there. Then I blocked my girlfriend's number, her social media accounts, everything. Complete radio silence. She wanted space? She got it. Permanently. Sat back and waited. The space she wanted was about to get very crowded with people she'd wronged. Update 1. 4 days later. Okay, so this blew up faster and messier than I expected. Thanks for all the support on the original post. Here's what's happened since. Within 24 hours of sending those screenshots, my phone started going off. Not from my girlfriend directly. Remember, I blocked her across everything, but from everyone in her orbit who suddenly had opinions about my actions. First wave came Tuesday morning. Unknown number calling. I answered because I was expecting a call back from my doctor's office about some blood work. What is wrong with you? Female voice. Aggressive. No greeting. Who is this? You know exactly who this is. Don't play dumb. I genuinely didn't. Ma'am, I have no idea who I'm speaking to right now. It's her best friend. Her actual best friend, not whoever betrayed her by sending you those screenshots. Why would you do that to her? She's having a complete mental breakdown because of you. Because of me? I forwarded screenshots that she wrote herself. The words came from her. You had no right to share her private conversations. That was between her and a friend. Private conversations about how she was playing 4 men at once while ranking them by salary. Those conversations? I think the people being lied to had a right to know the truth. Silence. Then, quieter but still hostile, she was figuring things out. Women are allowed to date around. It's not illegal. Date around, sure. Lie to 4 separate people about being in exclusive committed relationships while secretly comparing them like their investment portfolios? That's different. That's not dating around. That's calculated deception. You're disgusting. You could have just broken up with her quietly. Instead, you had to humiliate her. I did break up quietly. I blocked her. What I wouldn't do is let 3 other men keep being deceived. They deserve the same information I had. I hope you know you've ruined her life. She ruined her own life when she decided to treat 4 people like options instead of humans. I just made sure everyone had accurate information to make their own decisions. She hung up with some parting insult I couldn't quite make out. Good riddance. But here's where it gets genuinely interesting. Remember the 3 other guys? 2 of them actually reached out to me within that first week. The grad school guy, the one she called no real income for 2 more years, sent me a DM Tuesday night. Long message. Said he'd been planning to propose next month. Actually had a ring already. Custom designed. Put on a credit card because he was still living on a stipend but wanted to give her something special. They'd been together for 8 months. He thought they were building toward marriage. I was about to spend money I don't have on a woman who thought I was a bad investment because I'm getting a PhD instead of a paycheck, he wrote. Thank you for showing me the truth before I made the biggest mistake of my life. That one hit different. Genuinely felt for the guy. The tech guy was initially skeptical. His first message was basically accusing me of running some kind of jealousy-fueled hoax. As for proof, this wasn't just some elaborate scheme by a bitter ex trying to sabotage her. Fair enough. I sent him the original screenshots with timestamps intact, plus the roommate's contact info so he could verify independently. Took him about a day to do his own investigation. Then he came back with a very different tone. I feel like such an idiot, his message said. I paid for her car repairs last month when her transmission went out. $1,400. She said she'd pay me back, but we both knew she wouldn't. I was fine with it because I thought we were building a future together. He'd also apparently paid for a weekend trip they took 2 months ago. Covered her portion of rent once when she was between paychecks. All told, he estimated he'd spent close to $3,000 on someone who was actively comparing him to other options while he picked up her bills. Ouch. Really ouch. The third guy never responded to my message. His Instagram went private within hours of me sending the screenshots, though, so I know he saw them. No idea how he's handling it. Probably for the best that we don't compare notes further. Now here's the part one genuinely didn't anticipate. My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, found workarounds to the block. Wednesday night, 11 p.m., my phone rings. I answer without looking because sometimes work calls come in late. I can't believe you did this to me. Her voice, thick like she'd been crying. How did you? My mom's phone. Don't hang up. Please just let me explain. There's nothing to explain. I read everything you wrote. Your own words, in your own messages to your own friend. You laid it all out pretty clearly. That was just venting. I didn't mean any of it. Girls talk to each other like that. It doesn't mean anything. You said I was the safe choice. You compared 4 men by salary and career potential. You lied to all of us about being exclusive while rotating between us. Those aren't things you say while venting. That's a strategy. I wasn't cheating. I was just keeping my options open. That's what everyone does now. While telling each of us we were in committed exclusive relationships. That's cheating. Textbook definition. You don't get to redefine words to make yourself feel better. You don't understand the pressure women face. We have to secure our futures. Nobody wants to end up alone and broke. Then be honest about dating multiple people. Don't lie to 4 separate humans about the nature of the relationship while you run your little competition behind their backs. Long pause. Sniffling. Then softer. I was going to choose you. You were my first choice. I want to be sure. I was your safe choice. Your exact words. Not rich, but comfortable. You wanted to see if you could do better before committing. I read it all. More crying. Ugly crying now. You've ruined everything. The grad school guy won't talk to me. The tech guy is threatening to take me to small claims court for the money he spent on me. My roommate's moving out early because she can't handle the drama. Everyone's talking about this. Are you happy now? I'm not happy about any of this. I'm disappointed. I spent 2 years with someone I thought I knew. Turns out I didn't know you at all. You didn't know me, the real me. I made a mistake. A 2-month-long calculated mistake where you actively deceived multiple people while ranking them by financial potential. That's not a mistake. That's a business plan that got exposed. Her tone shifted. The crying stopped, and something harder took its place. Fine. You know what? You're going to regret this. Everyone's going to know what kind of person you are. What kind is that? The kind who shares the truth when someone lies to him? I can live with that. She hung up. Didn't sleep great that night, not gonna lie. But I slept better than I would have if I'd stayed quiet and let 3 other guys keep walking into the same trap I'd escaped. Update 2 1 week later. The chaos continues. New developments every few days. Gonna try to hit the highlights without writing a novel. Met up with the tech guy in person last Saturday. He reached out asking if I wanted to compare notes over coffee. I agreed because honestly, misery loves company, and this whole situation is weird enough that it helps to talk to someone else who lived it. He's actually a solid dude. Software engineer, straightforward, clearly still processing everything. We ended up talking for almost 3 hours, way longer than planned. According to him, the rabbit hole goes deeper than I initially thought. My ex had been telling each of us completely different stories about her relationship history. To the grad student, she said she'd just gotten out a long-term toxic relationship and was taking things slow to heal properly. To the tech guy, she claimed she'd never really dated seriously before and wanted to do it right this time. To me, I was supposedly her first real boyfriend after years of only casual dating because she wasn't ready for commitment until she met me. All lies, all specifically crafted to appeal to what she thought each of us wanted to hear. But the tech guy had been doing his own digging after our initial exchange. Turns out my ex has been active on certain relationship forums and dating communities online for years. He found posts she'd written under a username that matched her email pattern, advice posts about strategic dating and maximizing your options before commitment, and never settling before you've explored the market thoroughly. Posts from over a year and a half ago, long before she met any of us. This wasn't a one-time lapse in judgment, he said, sliding his phone across the table so I could read the posts. This is her entire philosophy. She wrote guides for other women about how to do exactly what she did to us. Multiple committed guys on rotation until you pick the winner. I read through the posts. Detailed instructions on schedule management. Tips for keeping stories straight. Advice on which types of men are most likely to spend money without expecting immediate commitment. The whole system. We weren't her first victims, I said. Not even close. Speaking of not being the first, the roommate reached out again midweek. We've been loosely in touch since she sent the original screenshots. She felt comfortable enough now to share more context. Apparently, she'd watched my ex run this exact playbook with a previous group of guys about a year before I entered the picture. One of those guys actually figured it out on his own. Noticed scheduling inconsistencies, compared notes with someone, started asking questions. My ex convinced him he was paranoid. Crazy. Seeing things that weren't there. She gaslit him so thoroughly that he ended up apologizing to her for his trust issues and doubling down on the relationship. She dumped him 3 months later for someone with a better job. That's when I knew I couldn't stay quiet if it happened again, the roommate told me. I watched her destroy that guy's confidence. He literally went to therapy because he thought his gut instincts were broken. When she started the same pattern with you and the others, I just couldn't sit back and let it happen again. So I wasn't just stopping my own manipulation. I was apparently breaking a cycle that had been churning for years. Small comfort, but it's something. Meanwhile, the harassment from my ex's support system continued. Her mom called me Sunday evening. Her actual mother this time, not a friend saved under that name. Young man, I think there's been a terrible misunderstanding we need to clear up. Ma'am, with all due respect, there's no misunderstanding. I read your daughter's own words describing exactly what she was doing. She was just being cautious. A young woman has to protect herself in today's dating world. You can't fault her for being smart about her options. Protect herself by lying to 4 people simultaneously about the nature of their relationships? That's not caution. That's manipulation. You don't understand. Her father left us when she was young. Abandoned the family without warning. She has deep trust issues because of that. She's just trying to make sure she doesn't end up alone and abandoned like I was. Part of me actually felt that. Genuinely. Abandonment trauma is real and it messes people up, but it doesn't give you license to harm others. I'm sorry about what happened to your family. That sounds genuinely painful, but her response to that pain was to deceive multiple people who trusted her. Whatever happened in her past doesn't excuse what she chose to do, and I'm not going to pretend it does. You've humiliated her. Her friends are all talking about this. People at her workplace know. She can barely show her face anywhere. That caught my attention. How do people at her job know? I haven't contacted anyone there. I only told the 3 other guys who were directly being deceived. Pause. Then, deflecting, well, gossip spreads. One of the young men she was seeing apparently knows someone who knows someone at her company. So the grapevine did what grapevines do. I hadn't orchestrated anything beyond informing the directly affected parties. Everything else spread on its own, because that's what happens when the truth is that messy. Ma'am, I didn't start a smear campaign. I told 3 people, 3 specific people who were actively being lied to, the truth about their situation. What happened after that was organic. I'm not responsible for managing the fallout from your daughter's choices. She's lost clients because of this. Freelance work she was depending on. You owe her for the financial damage. I genuinely laughed. Couldn't help it. I owe her nothing. She created this situation entirely by herself. The consequences are hers to manage. You're a cruel person. A cruel, vindictive, heartless person. My daughter deserved better than you. Your daughter was actively shopping for better than me while lying about her commitment. I hope she finds what she's looking for. Just not at my expense anymore. She hung up mid-sentence. The week ended with my ex trying to reach me directly again. New phone number, Tuesday night text. I need you to post something on social media saying we broke up on good terms. People are treating me like a monster because of what you did. Please? I'll apologize publicly. I'll say whatever you want me to say. Just help me control the narrative. Control the narrative. Even now, at the bottom of the hole she dug herself, her primary concern was image management. I responded, you created this narrative by treating 4 people like contestants in a competition they didn't know they'd entered. On it, 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Then, you're going to regret being so cold about this. I know things about you too. I could make your life very difficult if I wanted to. Like what? That I was faithful? That I actually meant it when I committed to a relationship? Share whatever you want. I'll wait. She didn't respond. Empty threat from someone with no ammunition. Final update, 3 weeks later. The dust has mostly settled. Wanted to close this out properly for anyone who's been following along. The aftermath for my ex has been rough, but not apocalyptic. She didn't lose her primary job. The workplace drama her mom mentioned turned out to be exaggerated. A few people apparently asked awkward questions, and some freelance clients ghosted her, but she's still employed. Life goes on even when reputation takes a hit. Her social life, though, that took real damage. According to the roommate, who officially moved out last week, and good for her, my ex's friend group essentially split down the middle. Some rallied around her with the she was just exploring her options. Everyone does it defense. Others, particularly those in committed relationships themselves, were deeply uncomfortable with what the screenshots revealed. A few of them apparently started questioning their own partners, wondering if similar schemes were in play. Trust issues are contagious. Who knew? The grad student cut contact completely, blocked everywhere. Word through the grapevine is he told mutual friends he never wants to hear her name again. He was 2 weeks from proposing. The kind of near miss doesn't leave you easily. The tech guy actually followed through on small claims court. Filed for the $1,400 car repair, plus the $800 trip contribution, plus court fees. My ex contested it, arguing the money was given as gifts without expectation of repayment. He's got Venmo receipts where she literally typed, "We'll pay you back when I can," in the transaction notes. His lawyer, "Yeah, ain't going just for this," says the case is straightforward. Hearing is next month. I'll probably never hear the outcome, but I hope he gets his money back. The third guy remains a complete mystery. Radio silence, private accounts, no contact. Maybe that's the healthiest response, honestly. Just disappear and move on without the messy post-mortem the rest of us got sucked into. My ex made one last attempt at reconciliation about 2 weeks ago. Showed up at my apartment building around 8 p.m. on a weeknight. I was doing dishes when the buzzer went off. Checked the camera, saw her standing there with flowers and a gift bag. Talked through the intercom. "What are you doing here? Please just let me come up. I need to say something to your face. I brought your favorite chocolate and I don't want gifts. I don't want an explanation. I read everything already. Those messages were just me being insecure. I didn't mean any of it. I was scared and stupid and I made terrible choices, but I never stopped loving you. You rank me by salary against 3 other men. You call me the safe choice and said you wanted to see if you could do better. Those aren't things you say about someone you love. People say dumb things when they're scared. I was terrified of committing and making the wrong choice. Can you blame me for wanting to be sure? I can blame you for lying. For 2 months. To 4 separate people. While we all thought we were in exclusive relationships. Silence. Then quieter. What can I do to fix this? Nothing. There's nothing to fix. It's done. So 2 years just means nothing to you? You can just throw it away over some texts. You threw it away 2 months ago when you started lying to me daily. I just finally found out about it. Her voice hardened. The pleading stopped. Fine. You want to be cold about this? Be cold. But don't pretend you're some innocent victim here. You were boring. You were predictable. I settled for you because you were easy to manage, not because you were special. The only reason you were the safe choice is because you were too oblivious to notice anything suspicious. There it was. The mask finally off completely. Thanks for finally being honest about something. Good night. I turned off the intercom. She stood outside for another 10 minutes according to my neighbor, alternating between crying and what he described as aggressive muttering. Eventually her ride showed up and she left. Haven't heard from her since. Think she finally got the message. So where does that leave me? Honestly, I'm okay. Not great. Not healed. But okay. I spent 2 years with someone I genuinely thought I knew. Built plans around a future that turned out to be one-sided. Trusted someone who was actively betraying that trust while I wasn't looking. That takes time to process, and I'm not going to pretend it doesn't still sting sometimes. But I also know I handled the situation the right way. When I found out the truth, I didn't beg. Didn't rage. Didn't destroy property or start some elaborate revenge scheme. I just made sure the other people being deceived had access to the same information I did. That's it. The consequences that followed were natural results of truth meeting air. The roommate and I still text occasionally. She's doing well, happy to be out of that apartment and away from the constant drama. We're not going to date or anything. Too weird given the circumstances, but it's nice having someone who gets it, who saw the whole thing from the inside and understands why it hit the way it did. My buddy keeps trying to set me up with people from his girlfriend's friend group. I keep declining. Not ready yet. Still relearning how to trust my own judgment after 2 years of missing signs that were apparently obvious to everyone except me. My lease is up in 3 months. Thinking about a different neighborhood. Not running from anything, just fresh energy sounds right. New routines. New coffee shop. New version of normal that doesn't have her fingerprints all over it. Last thing before I close this out. A few people asked if I regret forwarding those screenshots. If I ever worry I went too far by exposing everything instead of just quietly walking away. The answer is no. Not for a second. Those 3 other guys were being played just like I was. The grad student was about to spend money he didn't have on an engagement ring. The tech guy was hemorrhaging cash supporting someone who was actively shopping for his replacement. They deserve the truth. Every person being lied to in a relationship deserves the truth. I didn't create the mess. I just turned on the lights so everyone could see what was already there. She wanted space. I gave her exactly that. And then I made sure she had plenty of company to share it with. That's the end of the story. Thanks for reading. Seriously. Time to figure out what comes next. Take care of yourselves out there. Trust your gut when something feels off. And if someone asks for space out of nowhere after years together, maybe ask a few more questions than I did. Peace.